On today's Community Wednesday, let's break down all the changes that have happened since the mid-season update. By the time you watch this update, it's gonna be a new season, and there's probably gonna be new patch notes out. But it's good to know what's changed, and I'm gonna be a lot faster with the next one, especially since I won't be as busy anymore. So let's get straight into the changes, starting with the Modern Warfare AUG. Here are its stats before, and here's what it looks like now. Essentially, it got a damage nerf, and a new damage range got introduced. But what does this mean? Pretty much that if you're getting upper torso shots, you're gonna be getting an amazing TTK, but only under 17 meters. If you're getting lower torso and limb shots, it's still gonna be pretty decent, but if you're hitting normal shots, you're gonna be needing more than one headshot now to reduce your shots to kill. Before, it was decent between 30 and 60 meters. Now, not so much. So if you want to keep running the AUG, make sure it's for close range only, which means you're probably going to want a different build than me, since it's no longer going to be that great for sniper support. Now for the LAPA. It got a complete damage rework. And yeah, it pretty much got completely destroyed. Especially with my previously recommended build, it is no longer great, or even viable at all. If you swap out the reinforced barreled for the rifled one, you'll get a better TTK, and average is okay. But it's still not going to be the greatest, and the damage drop-off is only going to be at 12 meters. So unless you really love the LAPA, it's time to move on. Now for the Milano 821. It got a new damage range, the ranges got decreased, and it's not that great anymore. It can only get an average TTK if you're hitting upper torso shots under 13 meters. Everywhere else, it's just going to have a way too long TTK. So there's definitely going to be better SMGs to use than Milano now. So it goes back to my very first video, don't touch the Milano. Now for the OTs9. Its damage got decreased by 1 point. Under 9 meters, it's right on the edge of getting a really great TTK. And like before, everywhere else, it's not really that great. So if you want a close quarters SMG, the OTs9 is a pretty decent option. You can still keep using it without much worry. It's got great mobility, pretty good TTK, and decent recoil. Now for the CR-56. Yeah, it pretty much got destroyed. There's no reason to use a CR-56 now. Its TTKs are basically unusable. And the worst part is that its recoil isn't even that great, so in most ranges, you'll be getting outperformed by most other weapons. It was a decent choice before, but it was getting outperformed by things like the C58 and the EM2. But now, even in the hands of a skilled player, there is absolutely no reason to ever choose a CR-56. And that really sucks. Now for the Fara 83. It got a slight damage nerf in the second damage range. Basically, if you want to reduce your shots to kill by 1, you're going to need more than 1 headshot, or you'll need 1 headshot and 6 upper torso shots, out of the 12. But if you can still manage to get more than 50% of your upper torso shots, it's going to be a decent option. So while there are better options than the Fara out there, if you want to keep using it, go ahead. Now for the Vargo. It got a pretty decent buff. Its shots to kill in the second damage range got reduced by 1, and with 1 headshot, you can reduce the shots to kill by 1 once more. So theoretically, the Vargo 52 should be a pretty meta weapon. But for some reason, whether it's the bounciness of the gun, it's just taking me way too long to down people. But it's very easy to use, so it's fine either way. But out of all the weapons that got changed, if you haven't used the Vargo yet, definitely try it out and see if it is as good as it's supposed to be. Now for the XM4. It got a slight damage nerf and a range nerf as well. In the first damage range, the neck multiplier won't be helping you as much, and it's still going to take 2 headshots if you want to reduce your shots to kill by 1. And now, like most assault rifles, the drop off is at 30 meters. But at range, where it's supposed to be used, it's still going to be a great option. It'll get a consistent TTK, and with 1 headshot, you can easily reduce your shots to kill by 1. So, if you like using the XM4, keep using it, there's no reason to stop. Now the M82, it can finally get a 1-shot headshot again. This goes up to 75 meters, and the damage profile did get changed a bit. In the first damage range, you can get a 2-shot upper torso kill, which is nice. Everywhere else remains the same. And in the second damage range, as long as you get 1 headshot in, you can get a 2-shot kill anywhere else, even in the limbs, so that's a pretty decent change. I would prefer if the damage range got increased to 100 meters, but I understand why they didn't. Now for the Rytec. It also can now 1-shot in the first damage range again. And this one is up to 86 meters. But that's understandable. It has worse bullet drop and way worse bullet velocity. And more importantly, way worse recoil. The damage profile got changed again as well, so you can get a 3-shot kill anywhere else in the body in the first damage range, and in the second damage range, it's the same as the M82. As long as you get one headshot in, it is now a 2-shot kill. So I think this is a step in the right direction. But just like the M82, I hope they increase the damage range to 100 meters. And lastly, the ZRG. It got a slight damage nerf and a bullet velocity nerf. In terms of bullet velocity, it's going to be just as good as before. But sadly, in the second damage range, it can no longer get that amazing 2-shot kill in the upper torso anymore. So when it comes to long range combat, in the second damage range, it is just as good as the HDR. But in the first, it is still better. So you can pick whether you want a longer range scope or better performance overall. Now a quick word on shotguns. The spammy ones have been pretty much destroyed. They can be okay for one person, but when you're trying to wipe a team, it's gonna be much harder. So with these updates and changes, we can see that the meta is starting to be defined. Shotguns can be viable at point blank range, but SMGs are gonna be the way to go up to around 20 meters. Between 20 and 30 is kind of a no man's land, where some weapons are decent and many aren't. And after 30 meters is our typical long range meta. But after 75, that's now only long range assault rifles and long range sniper rifles. So those were the updates. What do you think about them? Are you sad about the CR-56? I know I am. So let me know your thoughts on that, and your thoughts on the meta in general. But as always, if there's any weapon, build, or part of the game you want me to break down, let me know. You may see it on the next Community Wednesday. Thanks for watching.